Today I wanted to talk about the important difference between discipline and punishment. Hi, I'm Jillian. I'm with Full Circle Counseling and Therapy Services, and this is Circle Talk Wednesday. Punishment focuses on being bigger and stronger. It's about exerting control over our children to get them to behave. Discipline focuses on being in charge in a kind way so that we're emphasizing learning and regulation over control. Punishment by its very nature has to be unpleasant so that the person who is being punished wants to avoid the punishment in the future. But this is flawed in a few ways. One, research shows that kids will avoid punishment. Really what they're trying to do is avoid getting caught. They're not internalizing a sense of right and wrong in the same way they do when we emphasize learning. Secondly, it assumes that children have that ability. They have that skill to be able to make a choice. For so many young children and for neurodiverse kiddos and people who just struggle with impulse control, they may not actively be making a choice. The issue often is around skill, lack of skill, and around regulation. While discipline can include things like natural and logical consequences, taking moments to pause, time ins, it's really focused on learning. So discipline is anything in which learning is involved. So play can be a form of discipline. If we're coming from a stance that our kids do well if they can, then if they're not doing well, it's either because they're unable to, because of lack of skill, or because they're not regulated enough. So it's a call to action for us to support them to be able to have better behavior. But the better behavior is not the goal. Like with any of us, when our kids are regulated, when they're calm, and when they're feeling connected, guess what? Their behavior is going to be better and they're going to make better choices. I think this concept of discipline can be a struggle sometimes because it may not have been what we grew up with. This is not often how parenting was thought of. And it doesn't feel tangible in the same way that taking something away from a child or spanking feels tangible. But it is tangible because really what we're doing is we're meeting our kids where they're at. We're following their need. And instead of focusing on control, we're focusing on connection to support learning and growth. And I want to be really clear that this is not parent bashing. For so many of us, we were raised differently than this. Our parents didn't have access to the same information that we have, the same research that we have now. And we can make a kind inference about that our parents were doing the best that they could. But in the same way that there's been medical advances and technological advances, things change. We learn more, and when we know better, we can do better.